They skipped my wedding because of my sister's headache. They thought I'd accept it like I always did. But 10 years later, when they tracked down my address and barged into my house, they realized the daughter who always gave in was gone, and what they were about to face was the consequence of 28 years of being taken for granted. If you've ever been the child who always sacrificed, you'll understand this story. Hit subscribe if you want to see justice served, because by the end of this video, you'll see how one woman took back control of her life. My name is Elena Martinez, and for most of my life, I was invisible. I was 15 when Dad died. Heart attack. No warning. One day he was teaching me to parallel park. The next day, Mom was sobbing in the kitchen, and I was standing there with my 7-year-old sister Sophia clinging to my leg, asking why Daddy wouldn't wake up. Mom worked 2 jobs after that. Morning shift at the hospital cafeteria, evening shift cleaning offices. I get it. She did what she had to do. But someone had to be home for Sophia. Someone had to make sure she ate dinner, did her homework, got tucked into bed. That someone was me. I dropped out of community college when I was 19. I'd been juggling classes and a full-time receptionist job trying to keep us afloat. But Sophia needed braces. Sophia needed a laptop for school. Sophia needed. And I apparently needed nothing. You're the older sister, Mom would say, like it explained everything. She's still a baby. You understand, right? I did understand. Or at least, I told myself I did. By the time I was 23, I was working 60 hours a week between 2 jobs. Sophia was in high school talking about college. Good colleges, expensive colleges. Elena, can you help with the application fees? Mom asked. Not really a question. I helped. Of course I helped. When Sophia got into UT Austin, I paid the first semester's tuition. $8,000 from my savings, the money I'd been putting away for. I don't even remember what for anymore. A future that kept getting postponed. Sophia called me once that semester to ask for money for textbooks. I remember the last time Mom asked me if I was okay. It was 3 years before my wedding. She needed to borrow money for a new transmission. I said yes, handed over $1,500, and she patted my hand. You're such a good daughter, mija. I wanted to ask, when is it my turn? When do I get to be the one who's taken care of? But I didn't. I never did. Sophia graduated college at 22. I paid for her cap and gown. I wasn't invited to the ceremony. Limited tickets, she said, but she posted 40 photos on Instagram. Her smile was beautiful. She looked so proud. I looked at those photos on my phone, sitting in my car during my lunch break, eating a gas station sandwich because I'd given her my graduation gift and couldn't afford anything better. That's when it started changing. Sophia got pretty. I mean, she was always cute, but in college, she became the kind of pretty that opens doors. Long dark hair, perfect skin, that effortless style that looks expensive even when it's not. She got an Instagram following, nothing huge, 50,000 followers, but enough that she started calling herself an influencer. Enough that she got invited to parties with people who had money. That's where she met Brandon. Brandon was 24, worked in his father's commercial real estate company, drove a BMW he didn't pay for. His family was upper middle class, the kind that went on ski trips and said summer as a verb, and they looked down on us. I knew this because Sophia told me, not directly, of course. Brandon's parents are very particular, she said once when I offered to take her and Brandon to dinner at my favorite Mexican restaurant. Maybe somewhere more upscale? The restaurant I'd suggested was where Dad used to take us for birthdays. Sure, I said. Whatever you want. I took them to a steakhouse I couldn't afford. Sophia spent the whole meal angling her phone for Instagram shots, talking about Brandon's family's vacation home in Aspen. When I dropped them off, I heard Brandon say, "Your sister is sweet, but—" Sophia laughed. I know, babe. I'm working on it. Working on what? Working on erasing me? The signs were all there. I just didn't want to see them. She stopped tagging me in photos. When I commented on her posts, she wouldn't respond. Once, when I ran into her at the mall with Brandon's friends, she introduced me as someone who used to help our family. Not my sister, someone who used to help. I went home and cried in the shower that night. But the next day, when she texted asking for money for a new phone, I sent it, because that's what I did. That's who I was. Until I met David. David Chen walked into the office where I worked on a Tuesday afternoon. He was 32, an architect, meeting with my boss about a project. He held the door for me when I was leaving, smiled, said, "Have a good evening," like he meant it. 3 days later, he came back, asked if I wanted to get coffee. I almost said no. I was used to being the person who helped others find happiness, not the person who got to have it. But something in his eyes was kind, so I said yes. David was the first person in years who asked me about me. Not what I could do for my family, not whether I could help with something. Just me. "What do you want, Elena?" he asked on our 4th date. I stared at him. No one had ever asked me that before. "I don't know," I admitted. "Then let's figure it out together," he said. 6 months later, he proposed. Nothing fancy, just us, at the lake where we'd had our first picnic, sunset turning the water gold. I cried, because for the first time in my life, someone was putting me first. When I told my family, I expected excitement. Maybe not joy, but at least happiness for me. Mom's first words were, "Are you sure? Sophia's dating Brandon seriously. Maybe don't rush into anything. You don't want to overshadow her." Overshadow her? I was getting married. Sophia was worse. "Just don't make it a big deal, okay? I don't want people comparing us. You know how it is." I didn't know how it was. I didn't understand how my happiness could be seen as competition, but I swallowed it. "It'll be small," I promised. "Just 50 people. Simple." "Good," Sophia said. "I'll be your maid of honor, obviously, but I'm super busy, so you'll have to handle most of the planning yourself." She never helped with anything. Not the venue, not the invitations, not the bachelorette party she was supposed to organize but didn't have time for. 3 weeks before my wedding, Sophia announced her engagement to Brandon, posted it on Instagram with a massive ring, dozens of photos, captions about forever. She announced it before I'd even had my wedding. When I called her hurt, she laughed. "Oh my God, Elena, don't be so sensitive. It's not like people are going to confuse us. Your wedding is way smaller." "That's not the point. Look, Mom said I shouldn't wait to get engaged just because you're getting married first. It's weird, you know. You're the older sister. You should have been married already." My stomach dropped. "What?" "I mean, people are going to think it's strange that you're suddenly getting married right before me. Like you're trying to, I don't know, show me up or something." "Sophia, I got engaged first." "Whatever. I gotta go. Brandon's taking me to look at venues. We're thinking next spring. Obviously, we'll need your help with costs. Family, right?" She hung up. I stood there, phone in my hand, wondering when I'd become the villain in my own life. The wedding was scheduled for June 15th, a Saturday. Perfect weather, small venue, intimate ceremony. David's parents were flying in from San Francisco. His sister was coming from Seattle. My boss gave me the week off. Everything was ready. The morning of my wedding, I woke up at 6 a.m. in the hotel room I'd booked. Mom and Sophia were supposed to meet me at 9 to help me get ready, get my hair done, help with my dress, take photos. By 9:30, they weren't there. I texted Sophia, "Where are you guys?" 10 a.m. No response. 10:30. My hands were shaking as I called Sophia's phone. It rang and rang. No answer. The hairstylist arrived. My bridesmaids, David's sister Claire and my coworker Jessica, were there, trying to keep me calm. "They're probably just running late," Claire said, but her eyes said she didn't believe it. At 11, I called Mom. She answered on the 4th ring. "Mom, where are you? The ceremony starts at 1. Elena." Her voice was tight. "Sophia's sick. Really sick. Migraine. She might pass out. I had to take her to urgent care." The room tilted. "What?" "She woke up with a terrible headache. I'm so sorry, Mija, but I can't leave her. You understand, right?" "Mom." My voice cracked. "It's my wedding day." "I know, baby, and I'm so sorry, but Sophia needs me. She's in so much pain. You're strong. You're the older sister. You'll be fine without us." "Fine without—" "Mom, you're my mother. It's my wedding." Elena, don't be selfish. Your sister is sick, seriously sick. David will understand. Maybe you can reschedule my wedding? It's not that big of a deal. It's a small ceremony anyway. Not like anyone important is. She stopped. I closed my eyes. Not like anyone important is there. That's what you were going to say. That's not. Look, I have to go. Sophia's calling for me. We'll make it up to you. I promise. She hung up. I sat down on the floor, my robe pooling around me. The makeup artist stood there, brush in hand, not knowing what to do. Claire knelt beside me. Elena. They're not coming. My voice didn't sound like mine. My mom and sister aren't coming to my wedding. Jessica's phone buzzed. She looked at it and her face went dark. Elena. Sophia just posted on Instagram. She turned the screen toward me. It was a selfie of Sophia and Brandon. She was smiling, makeup perfect, wearing a cute sundress. The caption read, "Date night feeling better," posted 20 minutes ago. Feeling better. She wasn't sick. She was never sick. They just didn't want to come. Something inside me cracked. Not broke. Breaking would come later. This was different. This was the sound of something letting go. Claire's hand was on my shoulder. I'm so sorry. Don't be. I stood up. My legs were steady. My voice was steady. They made their choice. Now I'll make mine. What do you mean? I looked at myself in the mirror, at the woman who'd spent 28 years being second place, being the giver, never the receiver, being the one who understood, who sacrificed, who waited for a turn that never came. Do my makeup, I told the stylist. Make me beautiful, because today I'm marrying a man who showed up, and that's all that matters. The ceremony was supposed to start at 1 p.m. At 12:30, David came to my room. Technically, he wasn't supposed to see me before the wedding, but nothing about this day was going as planned. He knocked softly. Can I come in? I opened the door. He saw my face, makeup perfect but eyes red, and knew. They're not coming, I said. I know, Claire told me. He stepped inside, closed the door. What do you need? Not, are you okay? Not, we can postpone. Just, what do you need? I took a breath. I need this day to be about us, not about them. Can we do that? We can do anything you want. He took my hands. Elena, listen to me. I'm going to say something and I need you to hear it. I nodded. Those 2 seats in the front row, the ones we saved for your mom and sister, they're going to be empty, and every single person in that room is going to see that. They're going to know. My throat tightened. But here's what else they're going to see, David continued. They're going to see you walk down that aisle looking like a queen. They're going to see you marry someone who would never, ever miss your big day. And they're going to see that you didn't let the people who failed you stop you from having the life you deserve. David, I promise you, he said, his voice fierce. From this day forward, you will never have to beg someone to show up for you. Because I will always be there. Always. I kissed him then, not caring about bad luck or traditions. Because he was right. This was the first day of a life where I came first. The ceremony was beautiful. The officiant was kind. David's parents cried happy tears. The 2 empty seats in the front row were like a wound, but I didn't look at them. I looked at David, at the way he smiled when I walked down the aisle, at the way his hands shook just slightly when he put the ring on my finger. I promise to always show up for you, he said in his vows. Always. I believed him. The reception was at a small restaurant, just cocktails and dinner, nothing fancy. David's father gave a toast about how his son had finally found someone who made him laugh. Claire hugged me and whispered, "Welcome to a family that actually deserves you." At 4 p.m., my phone buzzed. A text from Sophia. Hope the wedding went okay. Feeling so much better now. Brandon and I are getting dinner at this amazing place. Miss you. No apology. No explanation. Just that. I showed David. Block her, he said simply. David. Elena. He took my phone. Do you want her in your life? I thought about it. Really thought about it. No, I whispered. I don't. Then let her go. He was right. I knew he was right. But still, as I watched him delete her number, block her on everything, I felt something I didn't expect. Relief. For the first time in my life, I didn't have to be the bigger person. I didn't have to understand. I didn't have to forgive. I could just let go. We spent our honeymoon in Hawaii, a gift from David's parents. 7 days of sun and ocean and sleeping late and not thinking about anyone but us. On the third day, I turned my phone back on. 47 missed calls from Mom. I listened to the voicemails. The first one, "Mija, I'm so sorry. Sophia really was sick. Please call me back." The 8th one, "Elena, answer your phone. Don't be like this." The 15th one, "I don't know what David is telling you, but family is family. Call me." The 23rd one, "Sophia's getting married next year. We need to talk about costs. You'll help, right? That's what sisters do." The 47th one, "You think you're too good for us now? Is that it? You forget who raised you, who sacrificed for you. You're being ungrateful, Elena. Cruel." David found me on the balcony, phone in hand, tears on my face. "What do you want to do?" he asked. I thought about 28 years of being the afterthought, the backup plan, the ATM with a heartbeat. I thought about my wedding day, getting ready alone, wondering what I'd done wrong to deserve this. I thought about Sophia's Instagram post, date night, feeling better. "I want them gone," I said, "out of my life, forever." Then that's what we'll do. David was a man of action. By the time we got home, he'd already done it. New phone numbers for both of us. Email filters set up to send anything from my family straight to spam. Social media locked down, old accounts deleted, new ones created under different names. We moved to Colorado, 1,000 miles from Texas, 1,000 miles from them. I told my boss I needed a fresh start. Got a new job in Denver. Better pay, better title. We didn't tell them where we went. For the first year, I jumped every time the doorbell rang, checked over my shoulder in parking lots, waited for them to find me. They never did. By year 2, I stopped looking over my shoulder. By year 3, I barely thought about them at all. I went to therapy, got diagnosed with something my therapist called eldest daughter syndrome and scapegoat child trauma. Learned words like enmeshment and parentification and narcissistic family system. Learned that what happened to me had a name, that I wasn't crazy, that I wasn't cruel, that I was surviving. David's family embraced me, not as a daughter-in-law, as a daughter. His mother taught me to make dumplings. His father asked my opinion on his investments. His sister called me just to chat, no favors needed, no strings attached. I forgot what it felt like to be used. At year 4, I got promoted. Senior operations manager. $95,000 a year. David's architecture firm took off. We bought a bigger house in the Denver suburbs. 3 bedrooms, a yard, a neighborhood with good schools. Good schools. Because I was pregnant, our daughter Lily was born on a Tuesday in March, 7 pounds, 6 ounces, with David's eyes and my dark hair. I held her in the hospital, this tiny, perfect person, and made her a promise. "You will never be second," I whispered. "You will never have to earn love. You will never wonder if you matter. Because you do. You always will." David stood beside me, his hand on my shoulder. "She's got the best mom in the world." "I'm going to do better than my mom did," I said. "I'm going to love her without conditions." "You already do." 3 years passed. Lily grew into a bright, funny, confident little girl. She loved dinosaurs and painting and making up songs. She had David's kindness and my stubbornness, a combination that meant she never backed down but always played fair. She had 2 parents who showed up to every playground playdate, every pediatrician appointment, every milestone. She had grandparents, David's parents, who flew out 4 times a year and FaceTimed every Sunday. She had uncles and aunts and cousins who sent birthday cards and Christmas presents and remembered her name. She had a family, a real one. And me? I was happy, genuinely, completely happy. I had a career I loved, a husband who cherished me, a daughter who was growing up knowing she was wanted. I had healed. The past was the past. I didn't think about my mother or Sophia anymore. When memories surfaced, Holidays, birthdays, old wounds. I acknowledged them and let them go. I had forgiven them, not for their sake, for mine. I had moved on. And then, one Saturday afternoon in June, 10 years after my wedding, my past knocked on my door. Actually, it didn't knock. It barged right in. I was in the backyard with Lily when the doorbell rang. It was 3 in the afternoon, sunny and perfect, and my daughter was showing me the butterfly she'd caught in her little net. "Mommy, look, it's orange." "That's a monarch, baby. Isn't it beautiful?" The doorbell rang again. Longer this time, insistent. I wiped dirt off my hands and walked through the house. David was at his Saturday golf game with his dad. We weren't expecting anyone. Through the peephole, I saw 2 women on my porch. My hand froze on the doorknob. I recognized them immediately, even though a decade had passed. Even though my mother's hair was more gray than black now, even though Sophia's face looked harder somehow, tighter around the eyes. They found me. After 10 years, they found me. My first instinct was to not open the door, to pretend I wasn't home, to grab Lily and hide until they left. But something stopped me. Maybe it was curiosity. Maybe it was the part of me that had been waiting for this moment, preparing for it, knowing it would come eventually. I opened the door. For 3 seconds, nobody spoke. We just stared at each other across the threshold, the daughter who left and the family she left behind. Mom broke first. "Elena, Mija, we found you." Her voice was the same. That particular tone that always made me feel guilty for things I hadn't done. "How did you find this address?" My voice came out calm, steady, not the voice of the girl who used to cry in her car. Sophia pushed forward, her designer purse, real or fake, I couldn't tell, hanging off her shoulder. "Private investigator. Cost $2,000. You're welcome." "I didn't ask you to find me." "Elena, don't be like that." Mom's eyes were scanning past me, looking into my house. At the hardwood floors, the artwork on the walls, the staircase leading upstairs. "Your home is beautiful. You've done so well for yourself." There was something in her voice, not pride, something else. "Why are you here?" "Can we come in?" Sophia was already stepping forward. "We came all this way, flew from Texas. The least you could do—" "No." I didn't move from the doorway. "You can talk from there." Mom's face crumpled. "Elena, we're family." "Are we?" Behind me, I heard small footsteps. Lily appeared at my side, peeking around my leg at the strangers. "Mommy, who are they?" Sophia's eyes went wide. "Oh my God, you have a daughter? Elena, you have a daughter and you didn't tell us?" "Why would I?" "Because we're your family." Mom's voice rose. "How old is she? What's her name? We're her grandmother and aunt." Lily pressed closer to me. She could sense the tension, even at 3 years old. Smart kid. "Her name is Lily," I said. "And no, you're not her grandmother. She doesn't know you." "That's cruel, Elena." Sophia's voice had that familiar whine. "Keeping your daughter from her family? What kind of person does that?" "The kind who remembers her wedding day." Silence dropped like a stone. Mom recovered first. "That was 10 years ago, Elena. 10 years. You're still holding on to that?" Sophia was sick. "She posted a date night selfie 4 hours after she was supposedly too sick to come to my wedding." Sophia's face flushed. "I was feeling better by then." "Don't." My voice cut through the air. "Don't lie to my face. Not here. Not at my home." Mom grabbed my hand. Hers was rough, aged. Mine was smooth, moisturized, wearing a ring that cost more than her car. "Elena, please, can we just talk? Just for a few minutes?" Something in her voice made me pause. She looked old, tired, the kind of tired that comes from carrying regrets. But then she said, "We need your help." And there it was. Not, "We're sorry." Not, "We miss you." Not, "We were wrong." "We need your help." "With what?" Sophia jumped in. "I'm going through a divorce. From Brandon. It's been hell, Elena. Absolute hell. The custody battle alone." "Custody battle? We have a son, had a son. I mean, I still do, but Brandon got primary custody because his lawyer was better and I couldn't afford. She stopped. The point is, I need money. For a better lawyer, for a chance to get my son back. I looked at her, really looked at her. She was 30 now. The Instagram glow was gone. She looked like someone who'd been living hard, sleeping poorly, drinking too much. How much? $50,000. She said it like it was nothing, like I kept that much in my couch cushions. I know you have it. Look at this place. You're obviously doing well. And I'm family. You help family. The way you helped me? Elena? The way you showed up for my wedding? The way you called to check on me in 10 years? The way you sent a birthday card to your niece you just found out existed? Mom stepped in. We didn't know where you were. You disappeared. Changed your number, moved states, blocked us on everything. What were we supposed to do? Respect my choice. Your choice to abandon your family? My choice to leave people who treated me like an ATM with a heartbeat. The words hung in the air. Lily tugged on my shirt. Mommy, I'm scared. That snapped me back. I picked her up, settled her on my hip. She was getting big for this, but she needed the comfort. It's okay, baby. These ladies are leaving. We're not leaving, Sophia said. Not until you agree to help me. Elena, I'm begging you. I lost my son. I lost everything. Brandon's family destroyed me in court because I couldn't afford a good lawyer. You have the money. You have the resources. You're my sister. I was your sister when you needed college paid for, when you needed rent money, when you needed a car, a phone, spending money, application fees, textbooks, graduation gifts. I was your sister then. And I appreciated it. Did you? Because you never said thank you. Not once. You took and took and took. And when it was finally my turn to need something, just one day, just my wedding day, you couldn't be bothered. I was sick. You were on a date with Brandon 4 hours later. My voice rose. Lily flinched. I forced myself to breathe, to lower my volume. You know what? It doesn't matter. The answer is no. No? Mom looked stunned. Elena, your sister is losing her child. And that's tragic, truly, but it's not my responsibility. Family takes care of family. Then where were you when I needed you? The question seemed to genuinely confuse her. What are you talking about? We were always there for you. You missed my wedding. Sophia was sick. Stop lying! The words exploded out of me. Lily started crying. I rubbed her back, tried to soothe her while staring down my mother. Stop lying to my face. Sophia wasn't sick. She didn't want to come. She thought my wedding was beneath her, and you chose her over me, like you always did, like you always would have. That's not fair. Life isn't fair, Mom. I learned that from you. Sophia was crying now, too. Real tears or fake, I couldn't tell anymore. Elena, please, I know we weren't perfect. I know I wasn't always nice to you, but I'm desperate. I'm living in a one-bedroom apartment with Mom. I see my son 1 weekend a month. I have nothing, and you have everything. I earned everything. So did I. I worked hard. On whose dime? Who paid for your college? Who paid your rent when you were finding yourself in Austin? Who bought your first car? She went quiet. That's what I thought. I shifted Lily to my other hip. I spent 13 years funding your life. $127,000. I calculated it once. That's how much I gave this family. Not loaned, gave. Because family helps family, right? Mom gasped. That much? That much. And I never asked for a dime back. Never asked for a thank you. Never asked for anything except one thing. Show up to my wedding. And you couldn't even do that. We made a mistake, Mom whispered. People make mistakes. Mistakes are accidents. What you did was a choice. You chose Sophia's convenience over my most important day. You chose her pretend headache over my real heartbreak. You chose, Mom, and I'm choosing now to abandon us, to protect myself, and my daughter. I started to close the door. Sophia lunged forward, blocking it with her foot. You're really going to let me lose my son? You're really that selfish? Selfish? The laugh that came out of me was sharp. I gave you my entire 20s, my education, my savings, my time, my energy. I gave until I had nothing left. And when I finally tried to take something for myself, one day, one wedding, you couldn't show up. So yes, Sophia, I'm done giving. If that makes me selfish, then I'm selfish. You're going to regret this. Her voice turned cold. When Mom dies and you weren't there. When I tell everyone what kind of person you really are. When your daughter asks why she doesn't have a grandmother. She has a grandmother. David's mother. A woman who shows up, who sends birthday cards, who FaceTimes every Sunday, who loves her unconditionally. Lily doesn't need you. You can't just erase us. Watch me. I heard a car in the driveway. David's SUV. He was home early. He got out of the car, took one look at the scene on our porch, and his face went hard. What's going on? David! Mom turned to him, desperate. Please talk to your wife. She's being unreasonable. We're family. You're the ones who skipped her wedding. His voice was ice. You're the mother and sister who didn't show up to the most important day of her life. That was years ago. And yet, here you are. Not to apologize, not to rebuild, but to ask for money. He walked up the steps, positioned himself between them and us. How did you find this address? Private investigator, I said quietly. His jaw tightened. You hired someone to track down a woman who clearly didn't want to be found. You invaded her privacy. You showed up uninvited, and now you're demanding money. We're not demanding, Sophia tried. $50,000. That's what you asked for. He looked at me. Am I right? I nodded. Get off my property. Excuse me? Mom straightened up. You can't tell us. This is my house, my family, and you are trespassing. I'm asking you nicely once to leave. If you don't, I'm calling the police. You wouldn't dare? David already had his phone out. Denver Police non-emergency line. Yes, I dare. Something in his voice must have convinced them. Or maybe it was the way he stood, solid and immovable between them and us. Mom's face crumpled. Elena, please, I'm your mother. You were my mother, I said softly. Past tense. Don't do this. Don't cut us out. I'm getting old. I won't be around forever. Then you should have thought about that 10 years ago. Sophia grabbed Mom's arm. Come on, Mama. She's not worth it. She's changed. She's not the Elena we knew. You're right, I said. I'm not. That Elena died on her wedding day. The one you missed. They walked to their rental car, a compact budget model. Sophia had to adjust the seat before getting in. They'd flown here, rented a car, tracked me down. All that effort, all that money. And not once had they considered that maybe, just maybe, I had a good reason for disappearing. The car pulled away. David and I stood on the porch, watching until it turned the corner. Then I started shaking. David took Lily from me, set her down gently. Go play in the backyard, sweetheart. Mommy needs a minute. She ran off, resilient the way only 3-year-olds can be. I sat down on the porch steps. David sat beside me. You okay? I don't know. My hands were trembling. 10 years, and they show up asking for money. Did you expect anything different? I don't know what I expected. An apology, maybe. Some acknowledgement that they hurt me. Something. People like that don't apologize, Elena. They justify. He was right. In all those years, through all those sacrifices, I'd never gotten a real apology for anything. Just excuses. Just explanations. Just, you understand, right? They'll come back, I said. Or they'll try other ways to contact me. Let them try. David's voice was firm. We'll get a security system upgraded. I'll talk to a lawyer about a cease and desist if necessary. Hell, I'll get a restraining order if they don't back off. It won't come to that. You don't know that. He was right. I didn't. That night, after Lily was asleep, I sat at my computer. I'd kept files, documentation. Not because I planned to use them, but because my therapist said it helped with healing. Concrete proof that I wasn't crazy, wasn't exaggerating, wasn't the villain. I opened the folder labeled Family. Inside were spreadsheets, bank transfers, Venmo receipts, PayPal history, 13 years of documented transactions, college tuition for Sophia, $32,000 rent payments over 4 years, $28,800 car purchase and insurance, $15,000 medical bills, credit card debt, emergency loans, $18,600 wedding costs for Sophia's wedding that I wasn't invited to, $12,000 miscellaneous expenses, gifts, emergencies, $20,600 total, $127,000. I'd given them $127,000 over 13 years, and they'd given me empty seats at my wedding. I opened another folder, screenshots, Instagram posts, Facebook statuses. Sophia's post from my wedding day, her and Brandon, smiling, caption about date night, posted at 4:47 p.m. My ceremony started at 1 p.m. A Facebook post from Mom 3 months after my wedding. So blessed to have daughters who love and support each other. Family is everything. No mention of me, no tagged photos, nothing. Because to them, I only existed when they needed something. I wasn't a person, I was a resource. David came into the office, put his hand on my shoulder. What are you doing? Remembering. Is that helping? I closed the folders. Actually, yes, because it reminds me that I made the right choice. You did. They're going to tell people I'm terrible, that I abandoned them. Let them. They might post on social media, try to blast me publicly. We'll handle it. They might try to contact me through work, through friends. Elena. He turned my chair, made me look at him. We will handle it. Whatever they throw at us, we will handle it together. You are not alone this time. That's when I cried. Not sad tears, relief tears. Because he was right. I wasn't alone. I wasn't the girl desperately trying to hold together a family that didn't value her. I was a woman with a husband who showed up, a daughter who was loved, in-laws who treated me like family. I had everything I needed, and they had nothing I wanted. 3 weeks later, it started. Facebook posts from Sophia. When your own sister won't help you fight for your child, when money matters more than family, when you realize blood means nothing to some people. Comments poured in. People I hadn't talked to in a decade, taking sides, demanding to know my side of the story. I didn't respond, didn't engage, didn't explain. David's sister Claire did, though. She commented, "Tell them about Elena's wedding day, Sophia. Tell them why she's not in your life." Sophia deleted the post within an hour, but screenshots live forever. People started digging, found Sophia's Instagram post from my wedding day, the timestamp, the caption, found old posts where she'd talked about her family help but never mentioned my name. The narrative shifted. Wait, she skipped her sister's wedding? For a headache and then went on a date? And now she's mad Elena won't give her money? The audacity. Reddit picked it up. Some thread on entitled people, thousands of comments, people sharing their own stories of family members who only called when they needed something. I didn't read most of it, didn't need to. The vindication felt hollow anyway. 2 months later, a letter came. Certified mail, return receipt requested, from a lawyer. My hands shook as I opened it. It was from Mom, or rather, from her lawyer, demanding grandparent visitation rights with Lily. They were suing me for the right to see my daughter. David read it over my shoulder. They can't be serious. Colorado doesn't recognize grandparent rights unless the parent is deceased, or there's a proven prior relationship. I'd looked this up years ago, just in case. They have no case. Doesn't mean they won't try. I called my own lawyer. An hour later, she confirmed what I already knew. It'll get tossed out immediately, but they can file, and you'll have to respond. It'll cost you legal fees. How much? A few thousand, probably, unless they drag it out. They were going to cost me money one way or another. But something had shifted in me. This wasn't the scared girl who gave in to every demand. This was a woman who'd built a life worth protecting. File a counter motion, I told my lawyer. Request a restraining order. They hired a private investigator to find me, showed up uninvited, and are now harassing me through the legal system. I want it on record. Are you sure? A restraining order is serious. So is showing up at someone's house demanding $50,000 after a decade of silence. She paused. Okay, I'll draft it today. The hearing was set for 6 weeks later. They didn't show up. The judge read the file, looked at the evidence, the documented 10 years of no contact, the fact that they'd hired an investigator, the demand for money. Motion dismissed, counter motion for restraining order granted. The petitioners are ordered to maintain no contact with the respondent or her minor child. Violation will result in contempt charges. It was over in 15 minutes. I walked out of that courtroom feeling lighter than I had in weeks. My lawyer smiled. Congratulations, you're legally free of them. I was always free, I said. This just makes it official. We went out to lunch to celebrate. David ordered champagne. We toasted to boundaries, to chosen family, to the life we'd built together. That night, I got an email. From a burner account, but I knew who it was from. Subject, you won. Body, I hope you're happy. You destroyed this family. Mom is heartbroken. I've lost everything. And you get to play happy family with your perfect husband and your perfect life. I hope it was worth it. I hope when you're old and alone, you remember that you had a family and you threw us away like garbage. You're dead to me. You were always the selfish one, and now everyone knows it. I read it twice, waited for the guilt to hit. It didn't come. Instead, I felt nothing. No anger, no sadness, no regret, just peace. I deleted the email, blocked the address, added another filter to my inbox. Then I went upstairs to where David was reading Lily a bedtime story. Some tale about a princess who saved herself. And she lived happily ever after, David finished. The end. Did she have a family? Lily asked. She made one, David said, looking at me. She found people who loved her for who she was, not what she could give them, and that's how she knew it was real. That's a good ending, Lily yawned. The best kind, I agreed. 3 years passed. Lily started kindergarten. David's firm expanded. I made VP of operations, pulling in $140,000 a year. We bought a vacation cabin in the mountains, took trips to Disneyland, to Hawaii, to places I'd only dreamed about as a kid, giving all my money away. We had another baby, a boy, Michael, named after David's grandfather. When Michael was born, David's parents flew out immediately. Stayed for 2 weeks, helping with Lily, cooking meals, just being present. This is what family does, David's mom said one night, folding tiny baby clothes. We show up. I thought about my own mother, about how she'd never meet these grandchildren, never see their first steps or hear their first words. I felt sad for her, not for me, for her, because she was missing out on something beautiful. But that was her choice, not mine. On Lily's 6th birthday, we threw a party, small, just close friends and family. 15 kids running around the backyard, cake and balloons and chaos. David's parents were there, his sister and her family, our neighbors, Lily's school friends, real family, chosen family. As I watched Lily blow out her candles, surrounded by people who loved her unconditionally, I felt it. Complete peace. Make a wish, baby, I said. She squeezed her eyes shut, concentrating hard, then blew out all 6 candles in one breath. What did you wish for? David asked. Can't tell, she grinned, or it won't come true. Smart girl, David's dad laughed. Later, after the guests left, after Lily was asleep clutching her new stuffed dinosaur, I stood in the kitchen with David. You okay? He asked. He always asked, always checked in. I'm perfect. And I meant it. You know what I realized today? What's that? I won. He raised an eyebrow. Won what? Everything. They wanted me to feel guilty, to feel obligated, to believe that cutting them off made me a bad person. But look at this life we built. Look at our kids, our home, our family. I gestured at the aftermath of the party. Wrapping paper and streamers and half-eaten cake. This is what I was fighting for. Not revenge, not vindication, just this. A life where I'm not used, where my kids grow up knowing they're valued, where love doesn't come with a price tag. David pulled me close. You broke the cycle. We broke it, I corrected. Together. Together, he agreed. Upstairs, I could hear Lily talking in her sleep. Something about dinosaurs and birthday cake. My daughter. Who would never know what it felt like to be second choice. Who would never have to choose between her own happiness and family obligation. That was my revenge. Not hurting them. Not punishing them. Just living well. Living free. Living without them. People say blood is thicker than water, but the full quote is, "The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb," meaning, the family you choose is stronger than the family you're born into. I chose David. I chose his family. I chose my children. I chose myself. And that choice saved my life. 10 years after they knocked on my door, I sometimes wonder if they think about that day. If Mom regrets choosing Sophia over me. If Sophia understands what she lost. But mostly, I don't think about them at all, because I'm too busy living the life they said I didn't deserve. I'm too busy being the mother I never had. I'm too busy showing up. And that's the real happy ending. Not that they suffered, not that karma caught up, not that they finally apologized, but that I stopped waiting for their approval, stopped needing their love, stopped believing that family meant sacrifice. I learned that leaving toxic people isn't cruel, it's survival, that forgiveness doesn't require reconciliation, that you can love people from a distance and still protect yourself, that the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. And I am blissfully, completely indifferent to them now. They're strangers who share my DNA. Nothing more. My real family is here. In this house. In these memories. In the people who show up. So, if you're watching this and you're the eldest daughter, the scapegoat, the one who always gives and never receives, hear me. It's okay to stop. It's okay to walk away. It's okay to choose yourself. You're not selfish. You're not cruel, you're not ungrateful, you're surviving, and one day, like me, you'll be thriving. You'll build a life they can't touch, a happiness they can't diminish, a peace they can't disturb. And when they come back, because they always come back, you'll be ready, not with anger, not with bitterness, but with a closed door and a full heart, because you'll have found what they could never give you. A family that actually shows up. If this story resonated with you, subscribe. Comment if you've been the eldest daughter. Share this if you know someone who needs to hear it. You deserve better. And better is waiting for you. You just have to be brave enough to choose it.